the lesson. So your common denominator would be 30. Remember, you'd have to go over here and try to get the equivalent fractions, and you'd ask, what did you multiply by 10? You have to multiply the top by 10. And what, remember all that? What, hate fractions, it takes forever. If I told you there was a way you could get rid of the fractions, you would love it, right? Yeah. Right? So there's a way to get rid of all the fractions. And what I would do first, if I have any quantities that don't have parentheses around, put parentheses around them. And what did you say would be the common denominator? 30. So whatever the common denominator would be, we're going to take that number and multiply both sides by 30 over 1. Whatever the common denominator is, we're going to do that over 1, multiply both sides by it. So watch what happens. And I'm not really going to multiply this out yet. When you have a quantity, just leave it as 30 and then x plus 1 all over minus. Again, don't multiply it out yet, please. Just leave it as a 30 and an x plus 1 all over. And over here, top times top, bottom times bottom. Now, at first glance, it sort of looks like I made a mess, right? But look at this. It's times, so you can reduce that. What is 30 over 5? 6. And then an x plus 1. What's 30 over 6? 5. What's 30 over 3? And look at that. Now I have no fractions. Isn't that nice? Don't you love it? And if I gave you this, you could solve this. We solved problems like that already, right? Multiply it out. What do you get? You get 6x squared. What do you get? Plus 6x. What do you get? Remember, it's minus 5 times x. And it's minus 5 times 1. Combine any like terms, which I see some right here. So I have 6x squared plus x minus 5. How are we going to solve that now? Did you say get it equal to 0 and factor it? Oh, such a smart girl. Minus 10, minus 10. So I get 6x squared plus x minus 15 equals 0. The hardest part might be figuring out how to factor that baby. Because this could be 1 and 6, could be 2 and 3. This could be 1 and 15, or 3 and 5. You want to know what my first guess would be? What's your first guess? Alex, what's your first guess? That would be my first guess. 2x and 3x. I don't know if it's right. I could be way off. What's your first guess for over here? 3 and 5. And which way should I put it? If I do 5 and 3 here, this is 15x, and this is 6x. That's not quite going to do it, right? What about if I swap them? What about if I swap and put the 3 first? How about 3 here, 5 there? Look at that. 9x. Woohoo! This has to be the plus, minus. So what's going to go here? Minus to get a negative 9x, and that'll be the plus. Everybody good with the factoring? So then I'm multiplying these two things and I get an answer of 0. That means either the first thing, 2x minus 3, has to equal 0, or the second thing, 3x plus 5 equals 0. Add 3, and I get 2x equals 3. X equals 3 halves. It's a fraction, but that's okay. We still have an answer, right? And what about this one? So 3x equals negative 5. So x equals negative 5 thirds. Make sense? And we've done this. We've solved by factoring before, right? We did that earlier in the year. And if I gave you this equation to solve, you could do that too. The only new part is the multiplying by the common denominator, which it's not hard. You just have to be careful when you reduce this and be careful of things like this. I saw a lot of people yesterday, they remembered to multiply the first thing, but they forgot to distribute to the second. That was probably the most common mistake yesterday. But that's it. That's the whole thing. Does that make sense? Do you have questions? So yesterday's was the odds, and so today is going to be the evens, the same page, the evens. 245, that is. Page 245, that is. Page 245, that is. WE, 2 to 20, evens. That's it. And I'll be right here if you need help. You'll get all the help you need.